In this video, we're going to show you how to use the icons in Canvas and how to go about changing or editing your module to work for your course. So what I have here is just a screenshot of the template that we're working with. And so once you copy this template into your Canvas course, there is some customization that needs to happen. The first thing you want to do is change that weekly header to reflect the week number and the current dates. What you'll see here is the module introduction. This will always remain at the top here. And we've paired that with this gold star icon so that students will always know where to find that in any teacher's course. When you keep going here, when it says explore the content and share my learning, this part here can be in any order, and it may not necessarily look like this. So for example, you can see in our template, we have instructional component here as the first example item, but maybe for your course on a given week, you're starting out with a discussion in Canvas. And so that's perfectly fine. This is just an example here showing you what a typical week could look like. The other thing too you'll see here is your week 1 MRT. Some teachers may have that towards the beginning of the week, later in the week. And of course, these assignments themselves could vary. Here you'll see this red dot. This is the icon that we're using for the example graded activity. And again, this can fall anywhere within the week. And these activities are going to be different depending on the course. So what we want to do here is just show you how you can easily customize the module for your needs. So the first thing that you're going to need to know is how you can add or edit icons. So in order to add or edit icons, it's a simple control on your Mac. So, oops, sorry about that. So what you're going to do is hit Control Command Spacebar, and you'll see you have all of these options in terms of emojis. You're probably familiar with them from your cell phone. Now what's nice about it is once you've done this a few times, you're going to see that the icons that you're using the most will show up at the top. So because we've been doing this in Canvas here, you'll see that blue book and the gold book, the green check, the star, the dot, these things, we've been using pretty often, so they're showing up here for us. All right, so let me get rid of our icon screen. And if you need to screenshot this, you're more than welcome to. This is just a sheet, showing what each icon means. And so a lot of people, are asking, why are we changing this? Why are we having teachers do this? And I think what's important to remember is, we've got students, especially our incoming 9th grade students, that are trying to navigate 8 different Canvas courses. So we imagine our students that are all remote, and every day on their given day, they're checking into Canvas 8 different times. And so what we're trying to do is take that cognitive load of where do I find something, take that away, and so they can really concentrate on the content that you're providing them. So, we're trying to set this up so that, students can easily navigate what they need to do in a given day. So the gold star is the module introduction. The green check is used for the minimum required task for that week. You're going to use the red dot anytime that there's a graded activity that they would see there in Canvas. Now the books here indicate which teams are being assigned this particular task or this particular activity. Most of the time, you're going to have tasks that have been assigned to both blue and gold. But once you get to the end of the week, you may have a day where you're just meeting with the blue team, for example. And so, then you would mark that with a blue book. And then when you start the following week, you probably have that assignment in that next module, but only with a gold book next to it because it's only been assigned to the gold team. Okay, so to get us started here, I'm going to show an example from a course that already has some items inputted into it. So this is something that I started to build for one of my courses here, and you can see it has a lot of similarities to the template, but there's definitely some differences as well. So for example, the module introduction is here. If you click on that, you're going to see that it's very, very similar. to the template. I've just kind of filled in what I'd like my students to do. I think I plan on linking these directly, but that's really up to you. I just haven't gotten there yet. And then right here, I will put in a video overview for my students for this week. It's just on my to-do list. All right, now when you look at the content that I've set up for students for the week, you'll notice that in the template, it said, for example, I think it was instructional content, right? But here, the first thing that I'd like my students to do is to set up their digital notebook. So I have set up an assignment here for them to do that. The next day, I have instantaneous versus average activity, right? And so you can see there's some similarities so that it's easy for students to navigate through my course versus their math course versus English versus social studies. But at the same time, I still have the autonomy that I need in order to make this work for my class. And then you'll notice here that at the end of the week, this lab here, this Models of Motion lab that I'm assigning, it only has a blue book next to it, not both. And that's because on this particular day, I'm only meeting with the blue team. So when I go to do my week 2 module, it'll probably start up here with a gold book and then Lab 01 Models of Motion, because I'll be meeting on that first day with the gold students only. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense here. I'm going to go into a course that is blank and start to build my first module and go through some of the editing that we've talked about. So you can see in this course here, really all I have is the template that we copied earlier. So what I'd like to do is I would like to duplicate this so that I can keep that template so I can use it week to week and I can start to work on week 1. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on these 3 dots over here. And once I go to duplicate, that will copy the module over. Okay. And you can see it kind of adds copy to here at the end. All right, well, what I'd like to do is I'm going to go to the original template, and I'm actually just going to name that template for myself. I'm going to update that module. And really what my intentions are here is I really don't intend to ever publish this. I just want that here in my view, not in the student's view, so that every Friday I can come in and I can copy it and start working on my next week. I know I mentioned it in a previous video, but just in case, I think it's really important that you keep this template here, because if you're intending to just copy week 1 to week 2 and 2 to 3, it may not always work. So Tara Civitillo pointed out to me that when you have certain things in a module, for example, a quiz, you won't be able to copy that entire module. So that's why I really suggest keeping that template around so that you can copy it. All right, so now let's start the work here of making this module template work for your week 1. So the first thing you're going to want to do is change the week number and the dates if that's necessary, right? Like it would be for week 2. I'm going to update that module there. And now the next thing I'm going to want to do is go into the module introduction. And I don't like that copy 3, so I'm going to get rid of that. And now I'm going to go into the module introduction and I'm going to want to edit this. So you want to go in, let me get into edit mode here. You want to go in and you'll be, posting your brief video introduction. You'll be posting your guiding questions, posting your learning objectives, if you choose to do that. And then for the weekly learning schedule, I'm going to want to fill this in. Something that I've done for the Zoom link is I went into the dvrhs.zoom.us group there or website, and I created or scheduled a recurring Zoom meeting. So I'm actually using that same link for the blue and the gold team. And just a heads up on that, when I went to do that, it only allowed me to do that for about, I think it's like 2 months. But I didn't want to have to remember it. So I just did it until September 30th. And then every month I'll change the link there. But, I'll be wanting to post these in for students and, of course, the activities for the week. All right. So once you have that done, you can save it. And let's hop back out to the module here. All right. So see how it says instructional component here, right? That may not exactly be what I want to do. So I can go ahead and edit the assignment, right? Now let's just say I am actually giving an assignment that's going to be a graded assignment. So I need to change the title here, and I'm going to need to use that red dot. I'm going to do Control, Command, Space, and there comes the icons that we showed you earlier. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the red dot, and then I can add this new object here. Now, if you notice in this example, let me go ahead and click on this. This is a page. So if I don't want that first assignment to be a page, I may want to go ahead and delete it altogether, just kind of start fresh now that you know how to use those icons. So let's say, I don't plan on making this first item a page. I'm going to remove it. And, I can either use this one here, which is an assignment, or I can kind of start fresh here. Say I want an assignment, a new assignment. Once you're in here, the same rule applies. You can use Control, Command, Space, and those icons will show up. So let's say in this case, I only have it assigned for the gold team, and it's going to be one of my graded activities. So I'll add that icon, and I'll have, you probably have a better title in your actual course. And then I'll have to drag that up to where I want it to be. So, this is going to be the same process that follows here as you go and edit your module every week. But in the end, it'll look something similar to what you have for the template. It'll just be a little bit different in terms of the icons, the order, the types of assignments that you have there, whether they are quizzes, whether they're discussions in Canvas, whether they're external tools in Canvas, like with Flipgrid or a Google Cloud assignment or something like that. So I hope that this was helpful to get you started on starting to edit your modules. If you have any questions, please let us know. We're happy to help.